Two things can be true. Yes, I went to film school. No, I did not watch the Oscars. Yes, I've only seen one Best Picture nominee. No, I will not be watching the other 9. But I will be watching the trailers, even though the Oscars have already come and gone. This idea came to me in a vision, and I thought, I know who won the Oscars, but what I don't know is what any of these movies are about. Spoiler alert, Anora won Best Picture. I know that. Wicked, the one Best Picture nominee that I saw, lost. I don't necessarily have an interest in watching any of these movies, except maybe like Dune and Conclave. But what I am going to be doing, for me and for you, is watching the trailers and then guessing what I think the plot of the movie is. And I might look it up if it's a movie that I don't think I'm going to watch. But if I think I might watch it in the future, I probably won't look up what the plot is. So I will never know if I was right or wrong. And I'll probably just tell myself that I was right, because I need to work on my confidence and like believe in myself more. Okay, that's it. Let's get started. First up, we might as well start with Anora.
Did you pick up milk?
Do you see milk in the fridge?
No.
Then I didn't pick up the milk.
I can't even roll my eyes.
I love the Florida Project. I watched it like last week.
15. Cash up front.
Deal.
Okay, so he's like a rich, like, man-child? And didn't Mikey Madison win Best Actress as well?
It's a fraud marriage, and we're getting in an old ASAP.
Why don't you be a man and talk to me?
I love her hair tinsel in like every scene. I want hair tinsel so bad, but my hair is curly. I don't think it would work. Oh, he wrote and directed it. That's awesome. Good for you, Sean Baker. Okay, so Anora won Best Picture and Mikey Madison won Best Actress. This one is actually pretty easy, I feel like. I feel like it's obvious that she like doesn't have a great life. She lives in an apartment by a train, so you know they don't have milk in their house or whatever. So like you know that she's living maybe paycheck to paycheck, a little rough. She works as a stripper. And she comes across this little Russian guy. He looks young, but he has a bunch of money. He's like, will you be exclusive? Like I'm assuming stop stripping and like just hang out with me. And she's like, yeah, for $15,000. Okay, my predictions. Well, it's not really a prediction. Wait, is this gonna be bad? Do trailers today just like give you the entire movie? Okay, he obviously comes from some sort of like really rich Russian family, but he marries her to get his citizenship here. And because he's like, then I don't have to go back. But his family like comes and is like, no, dude, this was a mistake. We're going to get you guys a divorce, and then you are going to come back to Russia with us. Which, like, kind of understandable from a family's perspective, because he looks very young and immature and annoying. So it's like, yeah, if I had a son and he was on a trip in America and then all of a sudden he was like, oh yeah, I'm married, so like I have citizenship here, I'm not coming back, I'd be like, you're an idiot. What did I do to raise you this way? I guess I don't totally know how divorce works, because spoiler alert, I grew up in the Catholic Church, and so you're not allowed to get a divorce. So I have literally no idea what a divorce entails. Like it was never spoken about, but I hope that there's some sort of agreement and she gets like a lot of his money. Okay, I feel like probably emotional things happen if she won Best Actress at that plane scene when she's like, be a man and talk to me. I feel like maybe she actually loved him and it was all for his citizenship or something. If it was written and directed by Sean Baker, I feel like it might not be like huge crazy dramatics. It might be more of like the inner workings of their relationship and like the power dynamic between them. That's my best guess. And I don't know, I don't want to be too confident, but like I do feel like it's pretty obvious what that one is about. Anora, check. Next, The Brutalist. Just based on the name alone, I would assume it's like an action movie. I think the guy in this won Best actor though. This is a horrible trailer. This is just like images from the movie. It looks old-timey though. The guys are wearing vests and like those weird little hats.
Welcome to America.
Welcome to America. Okay. Are you kidding me? That is not the whole trailer. I got what I asked for, I guess. This one is a lot harder. Okay, I think obviously this is about, you know, immigration, because he says welcome to America in an accent, and right at the beginning we see the Statue of Liberty. It looks very old-timey. I'm assuming, you know, he's getting off of a boat. They take off their hats. They're so excited to be in America. And then you see all the people standing with their numbers. He is on a train. He's meeting people. It's just like random shots. Like, okay, they're underground. They're in a field. They're in another field. They're on a train. They're laughing. They're crying. They're working. They're dancing. Why is it called The Brutalist? This is gonna be embarrassing. I will actually look up what this one is about after this guess. Okay, I am going to guess that the main character, who is the man in the trailer, who won the Oscar for Best Actor, is going to come over to America. I think he's going to, you know, think that America is full of opportunities, land of the free, home of the brave. And he's going to get here and then he's going to be like, oh my gosh, where's the American dream? Like, it's really tough to make it in America as an immigrant. And then I think he's going to get involved in an underground fighting ring. Because frankly, when I hear The Brutalist, that is what I assumed this movie was about. I was like, okay, it's like an illegal fighting ring. Yep, he's like a boxer. And, you know, there were no shots of that in this trailer, but I still feel like it could be possible. I think he's part of an underground boxing ring. That's why they were underground. Okay, that's why they were underground. By day, he, like, puts on this front that I think he's very rich. I think he gains his wealth through fighting. And so that's why, you know, he seems like he's kind of at this, like, elite bar with his friend and this lady, and like they're laughing and partying like they have no care in the world. But then, you know, he's crying in another scene because he is just so overwhelmed with the pressure and like the danger. I think he's maybe in a relationship with one of the ladies from the trailer, because I think there was a scene of him like making out with someone. So maybe the girl is like, you need to stop fighting. It's too dangerous. Like, the cops are on to you. It's brutal and you're going to get hurt. And he's like, but the money, I need the money to give you the life that you deserve. And so he's crying because he's under a lot of stress. And, you know, he also won an Oscar for this performance. So I don't think he has a happy ending. I think it's very stressful, and maybe he gets knocked out in the ring one day and dies. The end. The Brutalist. It is called The Brutalist because he is the brutalist fighter that they have. You know what? I think it's time to now Google what The Brutalist is actually about. Life hack: if you ever want to know what a movie is about, specifically for me, if there's a horror movie that I'm really intrigued by, but I don't watch horror movies, I just Google the plot synopsis and it tells you like beat by beat what happens. Oh, I was wrong already. Okay, well, he's a Hungarian Jewish Holocaust survivor. He goes to Philadelphia to stay with his cousin, who I'm sure was the guy he was hugging in front of the train. And his name is Laszlo. Oh, and he secretly smokes heroin. He renovated this rich guy's library, and the rich guy hated it, so he didn't pay him. Years later, he becomes friends with this guy named Gordon, and Gordon is like, hey, the architectural community actually loves what you did with that library. Yeah, the rich guy finds him and pays him for his work. And then he's also like, hey, can you make a community center for my late mother? I could not have been more wrong. He is like a world-renowned architect, and I thought he was in an underground fighting ring. Oh wait, Are Harrison and Harry different people? Oh my God. Harrison is the rich old man. Harry is his son. This whole time I thought that Harry was just a nickname for Harrison. Whatever. So basically it is about this Holocaust survivor and his architecture and his life. But why is it called the brutalist? Just because he lives like a brutal life, I guess? Next, hopefully I do better at this one. A complete unknown. Oh wait, this is Timothy Chalamet's movie.
Last month.
Well, I like your
Aw, Elle Fanning, I love her.
Who wrote this?
But she's pretty. Sings pretty.
Is that actually how
Maybe a
Bob
little too
Dylan
pretty.
talked?
For anyone who's gonna hold your attention on stage, you have to kind of be a freak. Yeah, you can be beautiful or you can be ugly, but you can't be plain. They should just let me be.
Let you be what?
Whatever it is they don't want me to be.
So it's about Bob Dylan's life, and he just wants to be himself.
I'm not sure they want to hear what I want to play, Johnny.
I want to hear it.
Was that Johnny Cash? Is that a dumb question? I don't know if Johnny Cash and Bob Dylan were alive at the same time. They're kind of like the same people to me. You know what? Do I know any Bob Dylan songs? I obviously have heard of Bob Dylan. Knocking on Heaven's Door. Okay, so I've never heard this song, but growing up, my parents like would just sing all the time. Not like seriously sing, but like funny sing. Like just lines from random songs that would like fit the situation. And so I feel like they would always say like knock knock knocking on heaven's door. I haven't heard that song though. Okay, why does Timothy Chalamet actually really look like Bob Dylan in his Spotify picture? I did not think that's what Bob Dylan looked like, but honestly, clearly I have no idea who Bob Dylan is. I've definitely heard of one of these songs before, right? Have I not? It Ain't Me, Babe? Okay, no. Oh my God. Wait, now I'm just embarrassed. This is embarrassing. I can't really make a guess about the trailer though because it's just about Bob Dylan's life. I don't know anything about Bob Dylan's life. Apparently, I don't know any of Bob Dylan's songs. Okay, well, that's quite embarrassing. I'm gonna be honest. I thought that it was weird that Timothy Chalamet was playing Bob Dylan because I think I thought that Bob Dylan was Johnny Cash because I do know Johnny Cash songs, and I was like, does Timothy Chalamet really look like Johnny Cash? No, he doesn't, but he actually really looks like Bob Dylan. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all of the big Bob Dylan fans out there, and I'm also sorry to Bob Dylan. Next. Okay, next is conclave. And I was raised Catholic, so I know that the conclave is the group of like bishops or whatever that like votes on the Pope or something like that. You know, I haven't been to church in a while. Stanley Tucci's in this? That guy's awesome. Okay.
The Pope is dead.
The Pope is dead.
The throne is vacant.
The throne? Interesting. I know it's like God's throne on earth. Whatever. Can I just say it's really interesting because our Pope is dying right now. If you didn't know, he's been in the hospital for I think like over a month now. Pope Francis. I remember when he got elected as Pope because my whole school took a field trip to this big arena with all of the other Catholic schools in the area, which was a lot because I live in the Midwest. I really actually do like Pope Francis because my entire extended family does not like him. Like they are so diehard Catholic that you might think they're in a cult, like speaking in tongues section of religion, but they don't like the Pope because Pope Francis is like, no, God told us to love everyone and we should love everyone. And they're like, you mean we should love gay people? He is crazy. He is way too progressive we don't agree with the Pope. And I'm like, you guys are insane. This is why I really struggle with organized religion, because the people around me only like religion when it benefits them. And they only like priests and popes that align with their specific views. Even though the Pope is chosen by God, and he's infallible, and he's God's spiritual order. And I think that God really is everybody. And yeah, like, no, there's no way that I can treat a person like a normal person. It's just nuts. It's literally just nuts. Okay, anyway.
No sane man would want the papacy.
It's so funny seeing Stanley Tucci as like an archbishop.
Although we sisters are supposed to be invisible, God has nevertheless given us eyes and ears.
There's an explosion.
And therefore no need for faith.
Okay, wait, that actually looks so good. It's not archbishops, it is cardinals. All of the cardinals get together, usually at the Sistine Chapel. They vote on who they think the next pope should be out of their group until they reach a 2/3 majority, and then white smoke comes out. This movie, though, I am actually probably going to watch it because that actually looks so good, especially with everything that has come out maybe in like the past decade about priests and bishops and apparently cardinals being not upstanding members of society and actually maybe being predators, typically towards children. I think that's very interesting. But also the nun, the sister in there, who was like, I know that like we are supposed to like not be seen. She's like, but we have eyes. I'm gonna be totally honest, I thought this was a horror movie. I thought this was like the horror movie that Sydney Sweeney was in, where she was like a nun or something. I will look up the plot, but I won't look up the synopsis. But I definitely think there's like something bad going on with the cardinals. And obviously it's like, if you want to be the pope, it's like if you want to be the president, like you're probably power hungry. Like, do you really have the best interests of the people at heart? And you know, they're trying to cover up some sort of scandal, and like the nuns are bringing things up. So, and he's like, why has this been hidden for so long? I think there's a big scandal that was covered up. Right, so Cardinal Lawrence is tasked with selecting a new pope. He finds himself at the center of a web of conspiracies and intrigue that could shake the very foundation of the Catholic Church. I feel like I have a duty to myself to watch this, being like born and raised Catholic, and literally every single person I know is Catholic pretty much. Okay, next, Dune Part 2. Paul Marquis Atreides.
I'm here.
Oh, and yeah, Zendaya. Oh yeah, and Florence Pugh. And that other guy plays the bald guy.
Fade Rother. He's psychotic.
Yeah, he looks crazy in this.
Way through.
The sandworm popcorn bucket. Literally, why did they do that? That's crazy. They saw that worm and they were like, people are gonna want to eat popcorn out of this. For sure.
The ultimate power.
The ultimate power? What is his power?
This prophecy is how they enslave us.
This is like stressing me out a bit. Okay, what was the first movie even about? He comes from like a rich family, and then people come and they kill his like entire family, but he gets away, and he somehow ends up with Zendaya and like the common people who are rebelling against something that I can't remember. I think it's just a people, because in this he was like, my family, like, you've been fighting them for decades, I've been fighting them for centuries, like his family has. So there's some sort of higher power that, according to Zendaya, is like enslaving them with this promise of a prophecy, maybe. Or maybe it's just like a prophecy that's like, oh, a chosen one is going to come and save us. And so then the people don't do anything because they're like, well, a chosen one's going to come and save us. What are we going to do? I definitely know that Mr. Paul has power. I really want to say that he has the power to like speak and control people, I think. Is that it? I feel like that's how he gets out of like certain situations in the last movie. Or maybe am I making that up? I could be making that up, but I feel like he can speak and control people. Cause I think his mom can do that. And he was like practicing with her at breakfast or something, like how to speak and control people. Okay, no, that's definitely okay. So I think he has this like crazy power that no one, but they have seen it before because his mom has it. I think he has a crazy power that is super amplified. He's the chosen one. Maybe he has multiple powers, or he can just like really amplify his voice and take control of a whole group of people. In which case, like, how is he not already controlling the world? I think he is maybe the chosen one, and I think he is going to lead Zendaya's people to an uprising. I don't know what the heck Florence Pugh is doing in this. I want to say that she is a princess. Maybe her people want her to marry Paul. Is it kind of crazy that his name is just Paul? I guess in Star Wars, his name was Luke. What is with these like just generic man names for these like main character sci-fi heroes? Whatever. I am going to watch Dune Part 2 eventually because I want to watch the prequel series that's on HBO that's about like witches. I love a good witch. So that's my final guess. And frankly, I feel like I'm right. And I know that that's not very specific, but like genuinely, how am I supposed to be specific? Like they're going to fight the worms. Timothy's going to turn down Florence Pugh because he loves Zendaya. I think Paul is going to fight the bald-headed Elvis. I can't remember his name, but the guy who played Elvis is like a crazy bald fighter in this. They're gonna fight and everyone thinks that Paul is going to lose, but then of course he's gonna come out with his crazy power of speech that no one's ever heard, and he's gonna defeat the bald man, and it's gonna be like a crazy epic fight scene. We're halfway through. Oh my god. Emilia Perez. I don't even want to look this one up. That was so weird. That was so weird.
Just cut to the chase. To listen is to accept.
Bingo. It is. Emilia. It is. Emilia.
Emilia.
It is. Emilia.
There's a ton of controversy around this movie for like its portrayal of, I think, like Spanish. I think they like speak Spanish, but it's like it's actually made by French people or something like that. I've seen so many people talking about it. I watched one of those videos that was like, I watched Emilia Perez, so you don't have to. And I honestly don't even remember what happens because I wasn't even paying attention. All I know is that it should not have won like best song, or what did it even win? I think it won like best score or best song or something, because like the songwriters got up there and like started singing their song. I saw a clip of them singing one of the songs, and it's like they literally are just like talking off beat and off pitch, except it's so clearly auto-tuned to like a beat, like so monotone. It's like not singing. Whatever. I am totally biased. I'm totally biased, and I can admit that. I think from what I recall in the video I watched, Selena Gomez, her husband, fakes his death and then transitions into a woman. Then I think Selena Gomez is like, my husband is dead. And Zoe Saldana is like some sort of lawyer, I think, that facilitates the death and like disappearance and everything. But I think what was crazy is that like everyone dies in the end or something, because like Selena Gomez finds out and she's like super mad, and they also have kids together, and then they're like in a car and the car goes over a cliff or something crazy. I just feel like the general consensus is that it's like a crazy movie, like not a good one, just based, I mean, I've never seen it, so I don't know, just like based on everything that I've heard. I have heard the music, and I can tell you that the music is bad. Okay, that was Emilia Perez. Let's not talk about it anymore. I'm still here.
Vai ficar andando no carro daquele playboy, não?
Ô pai, eu achava que playboy era quem ficava bebendo uísque, fumando charuto o dia inteiro.
Seus documentos. Anda, anda!
Oh no.
Daqui a pouco passa.
Deputado Rubens Paiva.
He's a congressman? He looks very sweet. I feel like bad things are gonna happen to him.
O desaparecimento é uma das mais cruéis. Como é que alguém entra na tua casa? casa, leva o teu marido, leva ele preso e depois diz, sumiu.
So they took her husband to jail. He's gone, but she's still here.
Precisa sorrir.
Por que não?
O editor pediu. Uma foto menos feliz.
Ah, ele quer triste. Nós vamos sorrir. Sorriam.
Is that her in real life? Oh, that actually looks good. I feel like this was based on a real story. In recent history, there was a military dictatorship in Brazil, and so that's what this movie is covering. Looks like it's a wife, a family. Her husband is a congressman. He gets taken away, thrown in jail. The military's just like, sorry, he's gone, which is a real thing that dictatorships do, which is crazy. And like, low-key, do you think we're about to see that here in America? I hope not. You know what? Actually, I was gonna say it's gonna be about the wife like fighting back, speaking up, but also I feel like it's gonna be about the wife holding her family together, because when they wanted to take their picture, I think she is speaking up. She's speaking in front of crowds and speaking to reporters and getting her picture taken. The photographer is like, oh, don't smile, like the editor wants you to look like sad, like your husband's in jail. And she's like, no, we are going to smile, everyone smile. And so I feel like it's also her holding her family together. Even though it's like probably history, I won't look it up. Obviously that's like the general plot of the movie, I just don't know the specifics. Okay, that was I'm Still Here. I hadn't even heard of that one. Okay, next, Nickel Boys. Is it like first person camera? Oh,
Good news.
wait, I don't know if I like that.
Changed.
I mean, it's definitely new and different.
I let you down.
I'm okay. No, I'm okay.
And you see his
I'm hanging in
reflection in the iron. That's
Back
cool.
on it. My mother's watch.
Deck of marked cards. My big toenail.
Turner! This isn't the fight!
Aww. To be totally honest, I don't know what the plot would be. I feel like it just follows this guy's life, like from childhood to adulthood. But it's like I've never seen that before, like a first person point of view full length movie. Okay, so it's 1962. Makes sense based on the outfits. So it's Jim Crow era Florida. The main character is Elwood Curtis. He is a bright boy in the classroom. He is accepted into a tuition-free study program, but then he's picked up by a man in a stolen car. The police catch him and think he is an accomplice, and he's sent to a reform school. Oh, so Nickel is the school that they go to. Nickel Academy. Okay, they're called Nickel Boys because the school they go to is Nickel Academy. But thankfully, after he gets out of school, like 20 years later, Elwood is living in New York City. Wait, I just read a line. Oh. Okay, spoiler alert for this movie. Skip ahead if you don't want to know what happens. You know how I just said that it was adult Elwood, like, oh, I'm so glad that he got out and now he's living happily in New York City. No, back in the okay, he had a best friend called Turner. So back in the 60s, Elwood is keeping like a journal of all of the abuses and the crimes occurring at this academy. Turner turns it into a government inspector, but nothing happens, and then the administration throws Elwood in the school sweatbox and tortures him, and then they decide they're going to kill him. And so his friend Turner comes to break him out, and they run away together on bicycles, but a car is pursuing them. Turner ends up escaping to the woods. Elwood is shot and killed. Turner moved to New York City and took Elwood's name. So it wasn't Elwood living happily in New York City, it was Turner. And then he testifies about his experiences because the government is investigating. That's crazy. That sounds like a good movie. I don't know if I could get over the fact that it's in first person. Like, I'm sure it's one of those things where it's like you would get used to it after watching for like 5 minutes, but it does seem very interesting. Next, and technically last, is The Substance, because I've already seen Wicked. It's the one movie that I've watched, so I won't be watching the trailer. Can't recommend Wicked enough though. It's so good. Yes, it is a musical. What do you have against fun? Honestly, it's kind of crazy that Wicked was nominated for so many things in Best Picture, because yes, it is an amazing movie, but Hollywood hates like fun a little bit. I think like the Academy hates fun. I never watch the Best Picture nominees because they are all like moody, serious movies, and some of them are good. Like I've seen some in the past and I've liked them. You guys know I try to watch movies that are gonna like distract me from life, not like stress me out about life or make me sad. I want something that's gonna make me happy. Anyway, The Substance.
Always ask for something new. It's an out of 50. Well, it stops.
Younger, more beautiful, more perfect. One single injection unlocks your DNA and will release another version of yourself. This is
The Substance.
The Substance.
Fearless takedown of absurd beauty
You're
standards.
Perfect balance of 7 days each. You are one.
That was a really good trailer. There's an art to trailers, and you know, sometimes like the Brutalist trailer was not very good. Maybe I just picked a bad one, but like that was a bad trailer. This was a good trailer. It didn't give me the whole story, but I could tell that this is like a gross horror movie. To be totally transparent, I really wanted to watch this movie, but I knew going in that it was like really gory body horror, which is just not something that I can handle. Remember how I said you can just look up the plot synopsis? I did that for this movie, so it's kind of like I watched it, only I didn't. Let me think about what I read. It's a commentary on the crazy beauty standards for women, specifically in Hollywood. You can't just look like Demi Moore. Like, you can't just be beautiful. You have to be young. You can't show any signs of aging. You have to be beautiful and also young. But only if you're a woman, not if you're a man. If you're a man, you can age, but if you're a woman, you can't. You know how it is. Demi Moore is like an exercise coach. She's awesome. She gets fired by, is it Jack Quaid, or is that his son? She gets fired by Quaid, and then someone comes up to her with like this drug called The Substance. It creates a new, like a younger version of you. I don't know where the other body goes when you're in that one, but 7 days a week you are like your regular self, then the next 7 days you are the young self, then 7 days you're the regular self, and back and forth. I feel like it is her consciousness in both versions of her, right? But then also I thought that like they were fighting. Maybe the two versions don't fight, but I feel like she ends up wanting to be in the young version more, and like overstays the welcome, and then like something's wrong with the activator, or like something crazy happens. I know that she ends up turning into like a giant disgusting monster. I think very grotesque because she is like destroying herself. Something like that. I think it's a super interesting premise, and I really wanted to watch it, but I was just like, I can't. I can barely do like suspenseful, scary, psychological horror. But when it's like actually they're showing like gross stuff on the screen, I really can't. I can tell myself as much as I want that like, oh, it's just a movie, like it doesn't even matter. But it's like, no, it really grosses me out. Oh my God. How many times can I tell you guys to watch it before you do it? It's literally if you have something against musicals, I totally understand. But this movie covers so many important topics on like racism and classism and so many things, against Elphaba because she's green, against the talking animals of the society and like trying to oppress them. I cried so many times I can't even say. Wicked is so good. Wicked is wickedly. There was some award show and John Travolta said, "The wickedly talented Adele Dazeem."
The wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
when he was talking about Idina Menzel, who is the original Elphaba on Broadway. This is a wickedly good movie. Was this video good? I don't even know. It's a little difficult to be consistent because some trailers tell you everything about a movie and some trailers tell you nothing. Like, I had already seen the Wicked play before going into Wicked, so I knew the plot. But I didn't realize that in the trailer, they tell you, like, the wizard has no real power. And he's like, yeah, that's why I need you, Elphaba, because you have real power. Who's watching trailers these days? Hopefully, maybe if you haven't seen any of these movies, maybe now you're interested in watching it, or maybe now you know to stay far away because the movie is just not for you. I feel like I will watch Conclave, and I really feel like that's probably the only one realistically that I'm gonna watch. Sorry. Okay, well, Clementine is knocked out, and so I have to go probably like get ready for bed as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment if you feel called to. Like this video if you liked it, and I will see you next week. Bye.